Mm. There's this interview with Virginie Despentes that's called Virginie Despentes on Killing Rapists, done by Broadly in 2015, which I saw, and at the time it made me change the focus on the feminism that I was interested in. Let's see.
About our rapes.
We are here in Belleville, the home of Virginie Despentes. Virginie Despentes burst onto the French literary scene in 1993 after the release of Virginie's own rape shocked audiences worldwide when she adapted it to film in the year 2000. Basemont was so explicit and so violent that it was initially banned in France. Memoir King Kong Theory, which details her rape as well as her experience as a sex worker. She's poised to reach even broader audiences with her latest book, Vernon Subutex. To say that she is confrontational would be an understatement.
Okay. Shock.
Created your career in some way.
It didn't create my career, it changed it. There's more open with the rape scene and with prostitution scene, so it's my material. I say I would have been a writer otherwise, but I would have been a different person and a different writer, obviously. I remember the first time I opened a Kathy Acker book.
We're just trying to make
the short story began by fuck me, I want you to fuck me twice. I was really shocked to read a woman writing that. And I came back home like, wow, why am I so impacted? Why is it so forbidden? Why is it so intense? So it really, I think 2 years later I wrote Basemont, and I think it came straight out of Kathy Acker. You have died, you will never be the same again, you will never have tools to get out of the trauma and make something out of it. I never thought that writing was something that helps you heal. But I think I changed a lot after having published King Kong Theory. King Kong Theory here in France was read by many women, and I've connected to many women. So I suppose something about healing did work here.
Virginie's work isn't only about rape, but the way she writes about rape is radical. She's blunt. She argues that rape is a fact of being a woman, but it doesn't have to define being a woman. And she insists that men talk about it as much as women do.
Rape is always a women's subject. I'm 45 years old, and I think I've been listening about women gathering about rape for more than 30 years now, and I'm tired. I want to see men, I want to see men gathering, and please
got me
try to understand what's going on with you. How can you be rapist? How can you prevent it? Because we can't. Rape it's like a dark place without language for men. It's not a dark place.
After leaving home at the age of 2,
prostitution and getting the job to punish yourself or to fulfill a will of punishment, and you really can get in the job to reassure yourself about your femininity, you can reassure yourself about your power upon male, and you can do it just because you need money, and it's a good way to get money easily. It was this adventure, and it was much more exciting than working in supermarkets to me. That time I wasn't feminine at all, but I came just before from punk, so I had all this think about look. It's a different impression that I could little more than 2 years, so it was just enough to be interesting, but I didn't have the chance to.
So you believe in things that are masculine and things that are feminine. You believe in that distinction.
I believe in feminine behavior in the sense of docility. It's something we are taught as women, hiding our feeling, really this ability to not listen to yourself, not listen to what you know is wrong for you, and smiling when you're just destroyed inside. Something very feminine that some men do super fine, but we are taught as little girls to smile when it tastes bad.
Right.
I think. For cinema, for example, I think it's getting worse and worse. Mainstream cinema, I'm talking, defining
I think
more
this
and
is
more what's femininity and what's masculinity. But I think it's true, again, for the series, series?
Like TV.
Yeah. And this also is really like gender cool. You can see more and more Breaking Bad as Sons of Anarchy, as it's teaching about gender, and masculinity is always linked to violence, and femininity is more like shopping and having coffee and crying about boyfriends, no? And it's really much more and more obvious.
Do you think that's bad?
I think that's dangerous, yes, because it's getting more and more difficult to escape. And I think the worst part is for masculinity, because they are taught many things without even thinking again and again some messages about violence and violence and violence. Masculinity is violence and you should be violent. And it's creating war nation, no? And I don't think we need war. But I'm generalizing, sometimes about men. Like,
you don't seem to hate them.
I don't hate them, but...
Okay, first off, what the fuck is up with this interviewer? Just trying to get, like, crazy reaction. I don't even think in this video she says that rapists should be killed, but this is the title for this YouTube video. So yeah, I think this part about the danger of masculinity really decontextualizes it and brings it to a very different arena, because I think quite often the public conversation around masculinity and toxic masculinity is that it creates fear for women walking down the street and being catcalled, and that's where it stops. And I think that is, of course, one of the manifestations of violent masculinity, but it goes much further than that, I think. And here in this video, it was the first time that I saw someone talk about it in a way that went beyond and talked about war, because I think war, and not just in the very strict sense in which we think about it as men sending other, or like nations going into war with each other, or civil wars or whatever. But there's other kinds of war that we don't think about it. And for example, in the Mexican context, I think we often forget about it because we don't think that war exists just because it is not existing in these really strict terms. But the drug war, the gender wars, like all of these things, like just living in a constant state of fear, I think, is what this is doing, creating this state of constant fear, this terror to go out in the street, this being afraid of being raped all the time. So I think that now that I'm working with other things relating to gender, it kind of sucks that masculinity is not discussed. I want to read a poem that I wrote. That should be somewhere around here. Where I say something that I think about quite often. Okay. This poem is in Spanglish, mostly in Spanish, so. Perreándola. Y si nos hacemos trophy wives mejor, so how about we become trophy wives instead? Okay, I think we can discuss that later. Dios nos libre de los Sunday blues. Nomás sale el emoji del sol y ya todos me caen bien en la uni. haciendo soft porn en mensajes de Only See Once de Instagram para diseñadores gráficos con gustos delicados. Deberías de ponerte a hacer stand-up tragedy. Y Neche dijo que la Unión Europea es un salmón. Me la pasé bien anoche. Creo que los únicos hombres en los que puedes confiar son los que están avergonzados de hacerlo. This is the line that I'm referring to. The only men that you can trust are those who are ashamed of being a man. Of being one. Estaba leyendo un artículo de ID. Here's what to do when you suddenly realize your existence is tethered to an iPhone charger. Y pensando que qué bonito que me des el antídoto para tu propio veneno. Veneno para medusas. No me gusta cuando se te llena el cabello de comida, me dijo mi date mientras me quitaba un nacho del cabello. Le echaste queso a tus chilaquiles y se te arruinaron porque el queso estaba podrido. Vegan karma. Conocí a un niño que se llamaba Alejandría y tenía un bigote on point, cutre chic. Mi cerveza favorita es la lager del día que cuesta 65 centavos y la caguama o €1.25 el six pack. Una marea tropical, un intercambio tropicoin, una gentrificación tropics. If you can't handle me drunk, you don't deserve me sober. Sent. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna be reading more poems. I think I used to say this as a kind of tagline, men are trash, right? And then one time I was talking to one of my closest friends and he said, you saying men are trash is kind of giving an excuse to men for being trash, if you think about it. And that's something that he had read on Twitter. So I've been thinking about that and sometimes just assuming that men are trash or just accepting it as a kind of inevitable fact makes it way too easy for them to be trash or just like erases the conversation, right? I don't know if mukbangs are about people eating in a gross way. Or about people eating gross food. Or about eating a lot of food, which I guess is kind of gross in its own way. Or about eating while talking. So, yeah, another thing about that poem, we should become trophy wives instead, I think. I think it's just like an easy answer. How, you know, most of my friends and I have talked either, like, we've talked at some point about camming, you know? And why is that so common to be seen as an exit strategy out of life? Not life, but economic problems. And economic problems that are not even insane. Just like paying the rent and shit like that. I'm about to finish this. I guess I should tell you what it is. It is sweet potato noodles, the purple kind, They're fresh. And then they have barely cooked. I guess I'm not that good with chopsticks after all. Broccoli. Then with furikake blend of different kinds of sesame and nori, toasted sesame, corona, and tahini, peanut butter, rice, vinegar, sesame oil sauce.